Jonathan Randall, and welcome to another episode of How You Like Me Now, the podcast no one asked for, but I just can't stop doing. Einstein said the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Well, this is episode 61, and I don't know what I'm expecting anymore. I think if life has taught me anything, it's not to expect anything. Expectations are the fastest way to be disappointed. I just keep on going, like the little engine that could. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I almost thought I couldn't. Yeah, it seemed like the studio was going to give me the boot, but perhaps I was misinformed because I am still here. And I am thrilled to be coming to you from one of my favorite neighborhoods in the whole wide world, New York City's Lower East Side. I will be recording a new episode of the American Jew podcast this weekend with comedian and activist Michael Schertzer. I'm really excited to meet him. He's also an American Jew who speaks out against the occupation and Israel's human rights violations. So be sure to be on the lookout for that episode. Apple released its newest product, the Apple Vision Pro, which is like something straight out of a dystopian sci-fi movie. I haven't tried it yet, but it looks cool. I mean, you don't look cool when you're wearing it, but the interface seems interesting. Apple just has to figure out how to make it without the annoying goggles, like with holograms or something, which is definitely where we are headed. Of course, people are already being obnoxious with them. I mean, it just came out and people are already like, how can I annoy others with this? They're wearing it on the subway, walking around in public, and even while driving a Tesla. It seems what people are really excited about is filming themselves doing stupid shit with them on. They don't care about mixed reality. They care about going viral and are wearing them while skateboarding or courtside at a basketball game. Apple is like, imagine the possibility of an immersive interface, and the public is like, oh yeah, well imagine that interface while skydiving or on a jet ski. I feel like I would immediately dislike anyone I saw outside wearing a Vision Pro. I wonder what the Apple Care deductible is for damage from getting punched in the face while wearing it in public. There are extremist Israeli settlers blocking humanitarian aid from getting to Gaza. That's what they do in their spare time. When they're not harassing, murdering, and stealing land from Palestinians in the West Bank, it's like a field trip for them. Are we going to burn down another Palestinian olive grove? Nah, we did that yesterday. Today, we're going to block life-saving aid from getting to Gaza. They are excited about it. They think they're moving into Gaza. Over 2 million people are suffering from hunger, lack of shelter, and clean water, and they are trying to make sure they don't get help, so they are forced to leave so they could move in. There is a humanitarian catastrophe happening, and they're planning their next settlement. For them, Israel's brutal bombardment of Gaza is just phase 1 of construction. Biden has been pussyfooting around the settler issue for a while now. Everyone knows they are a problem, but no one seems to want to do anything about it. And there are plenty of Israeli officials who are encouraging and enabling them. Israeli settlers breed bigotry and commit violence against Palestinians daily, often under the protection of the Israeli military. They reflect horribly on Judaism and, quite frankly, can make anyone anti-Semitic. We're not all like that, I promise. I'm all for financial and travel sanctions, but way more has to be done to address the settler problem. There has been over 500 attacks since October 7th, and over 1,000 Palestinians have been forced to flee their homes because of Israeli settlers. Way more has to be done to eradicate settler violence, and Israel sure as hell isn't going to do anything about it. Over 90% of investigations into settlers harming Palestinians are closed without any charges. These settlers have already carved up the West Bank with illegal settlements in an effort to undermine a Palestinian state and terrorize Palestinians in the West Bank with impunity. So we need to take way more action than just sanctioning 4 of them. A great place for the U.S. to start would be not giving $3.8 billion to Israel in military aid. The death toll in Gaza continues to rise, and Israel claims that 1 in 3 of the people that it killed are Hamas terrorists. But I don't think they realize that that isn't a good ratio. Turns out not being the most accurate army in the world is just another reason why Israel doesn't have the most moral army in the world either. Saudi Arabia has made it clear there will be no diplomatic relations with Israel unless there is an independent Palestinian state on the 1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital, and Israel ends its aggression in Gaza and withdraws its troops. I'm sure Netanyahu responded with, "We didn't want diplomatic relations with you anyway," since he isn't shy about his opposition to a Palestinian state. The good news is, supporting genocide is bad for the bottom line. I wasn't too sure these days. But thankfully, both Starbucks and McDonald's reported losses because of boycotts against them for their support of genocide. I mean, Israel. Check me out across social media at Jonathan Randall. TikTok is still suppressing my content, which is incredibly frustrating and really makes me not want to use it, but I just can't quit on the people who have been following me there and have been so incredibly supportive, so I'll continue to post there. But I am way more active on Instagram, so if you're not following me there, please do. Again, it's at Jonathan Randall. Only 3 people so far have bought in t-shirts from the End the Occupation Etsy store, but that was some money that I was able to donate to the Freedom Theater, which I was totally psyched about doing. I believe that something is better than nothing, so go over to the End the Occupation Etsy store, check out my items. 60% of all sales go to help the Palestinians through the Freedom Theater and the Mercy Corps. I hope you guys will check it out. I want to thank all of my Ko-fi supporters for helping produce this episode. If you want to support my work and help me make the content that I want to make, then please become a member on Ko-fi at ko-fi.com/Jonathan Randall. Ko-fi is kind of like Patreon. I will put the link to my profile in the description. Israel is dropping bombs on Gaza, killing thousands of people and making millions homeless. Its extremists are terrorizing Palestinians in the West Bank and blocking crucial aid from getting to people that are starving. The country is being run by a racist government that is fixated on power, not peace. The country is literally on trial for genocide and itching the West towards war, and people still have the audacity to accuse you of anti-Semitism for speaking out against Israel. Your blind support of Israel does not help it. It corrupts it. It's made Israel synonymous with occupation, segregation, and death. People hear Israel, they think the oppression of the Palestinian people. You may have thought you were supporting the dream of a Jewish state, but for the Palestinian people, it's been the nightmare of apartheid. You are not defending Israel's right to exist. You are enabling genocide. You're not being a proud Jew. You are being manipulated by the political ideology that is Zionism. I'm Jonathan Randall. How you like me now?